He said, you know Will raped me. You know Diddy made me suck his penis. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. Well, I'm going to give you a chapter from the book since I owed you something.
Okay.
In the book, in one of the chapters, they talk about mentorship. So I grabbed my husband. I said, listen, I don't know. I didn't know what happened. Nothing. I was just asked to come.
Is this true?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna let you. You about to see if it's true from the paperwork. Oh, we telling something that got paperwork involved.
See, they trying to sue him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual, right?
Every time we think we've heard everything that was done to Bryshere, new information gets exposed that sends us right back to square one. And this time, Jaguar Wright and Will Smith's assistant, brother Bilal, are right in the middle of it. This isn't their first time speaking up against the demonic things that were done to Bryshere, but this time, they took it a step further to also name-drop all the other victims before and after Bryshere. And baby, the list is long. According to Jaguar, some of the people she later found out were also allegedly touched by Will and Diddy were folks she would have never suspected. Mind you, she has been spilling tea about the industry since anyone even knew these crazy things were going on. So the fact that she, of all people, was surprised by the things she found out says a lot. Now, as I said, the victim naming machine was running way before Bryshere, and it didn't end after him either. Jaguar first started making these allegations back in the day when she spilled major tea about Diddy allegedly forcing Christopher Williams to get on his knees and give him an oral action against his will. Jaguar claims Diddy knew Christopher was straight, but still forced Christopher to go down on him in exchange for a record deal. She was one of the first people to expose Diddy for forcing young men into things they didn't want, simply because he knew he had enough power to get away with it.
Christopher Williams, I don't know, I guess he wanted to sign. I don't know what happened. But Puff was supposed to be giving him a demo deal, and he gave him a demo deal, and I guess it was supposed to turn into an album deal, which that never happened. But this young woman walked in to get approval on some paperwork, see. And when she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff. Now, from what she said to me, it was disturbing because, you know, they didn't stop. She just walked out.
And then there was Orlando Brown. Orlando was basically Bryshere before Bryshere even stepped into the scene. And you'll understand why I say that after you hear how disturbingly similar their stories actually are. You see, just like Bryshere, Orlando was also still under 18 when he made it big in the industry. And just like Bryshere, he got hooked on substances, started spiraling mentally, got into multiple run-ins with police, and got blacklisted right after his breakout show ended. Orlando got his big break when he was cast as Eddie on That's So Raven, and at the time, everybody really thought he was about to be the next big black comedy star in Hollywood. Like, he had the timing, the personality, the charisma, he was genuinely funny, and people loved him. But baby, once the show ended, that dream started falling apart fast. Instead of seeing Orlando booked in bigger roles and leveling up in the industry, people started seeing his name in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Substance possession, assault allegations, erratic behavior, the whole mess. And one of the wildest situations was when he got caught trespassing on somebody's property barefoot while carrying a box of Franzia wine. Like, sir, what is going on?
Look, my right over there. I called the
Look at this circus clown.
It's whole blood.
Go ahead. Work for them on the corner.
Sock me out. Sock this
Look at this ass feet.
Yep.
This
Sock me
bum
out.
ass. Try to get us some love. He wants shit.
Yep.
Now I know why he ain't got no family.
What?
Get the away from here, nigga.
His first arrest came right after That's So Raven ended, when he ended up getting locked up for herb possession. Then, between 2011 and 2013, he got arrested again for 2 DUIs. But that was only the beginning. In 2014, he was arrested for allegedly threatening to unalive a woman and her daughter. And that's when people really started looking at him like, hold on, what happened to this man? Because this was not the same funny Disney kid everybody grew up watching. But it got even worse in 2015. 2022 when he was arrested after allegedly threatening his own brother with a hammer and a broken knife blade. And what made that situation even sadder is that Orlando was reportedly homeless at the time. His brother had apparently taken him in just 2 weeks earlier to keep him out of a homeless shelter, and then everything still went left. Now, as I said, a lot of people couldn't help but compare Orlando's situation to Bryshere Gray and other young black stars who came into Hollywood with so much promise, only to crash out once the machine was done with them. Bryshere was being called the next big black actor when he landed the role of Hakeem Lyon on Fox's biggest show at the time, Empire. He had the look, the talent, everything. But once that show ended, it felt like his career ended right along with it.
When you do sell your soul, you are allowed to live forever. And these people that are called youngins, rookies, new booties.
He also claimed one of the biggest reasons these industry elites get away with taking advantage of young stars is because, a lot of the time, the parents are supposedly in on it too. Like, instead of protecting their kids, they look the other way as long as the money keeps coming in. And that makes the Bryshere situation look even darker, because his own mother, Andrea, has been accused of knowing what was happening and still letting him be passed around these industry circles for a check. Now again, none of this has been proven as fact, so let's be clear. But if even a piece of this is true, then Bryshere wasn't just failed by Hollywood, he was failed by the people closest to him too. And that's the part that really has people sick, because how is a young artist supposed to survive the industry when even the people meant to protect him are cashing in on his pain? And the crazy part is, Orlando isn't even the only celebrity who has been saying this. Other people have come out saying this, and every single time, the industry just labels them crazy and moves on. One of the biggest examples is Corey Feldman. Just like Orlando, Corey was also a child star, and he ended up dealing with a lot of serious issues later in life. So when he started speaking out about what happens to young people in Hollywood, people dismissed him immediately. They said it was his addiction talking, that he was unstable, that he was just looking for attention, basically the same playbook they use on everybody who starts naming names. But Corey didn't stop. In 2020, he dropped his documentary titled My Truth, where he finally started naming the people he says abused him in the industry, including actor Charlie Sheen and talent manager Marty Weiss, his ex-wife Susie Feldman, and his Lost Boys castmate Jamison Newlander also backed up parts of what he had been saying and claimed they witnessed certain things firsthand.
That the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Now, when it comes to the people involved in what happened to Bryshere, a few names have been getting thrown around since this whole thing resurfaced. Diddy, Will Smith, his mother Andrea, his former manager Charlie Mack, and even Lee Daniels. Apparently, after Bryshere blew up on Empire, Charlie allegedly introduced him to Will and Diddy under the idea that they were going to mentor him and help take his career to the next level. But baby, according to Jaguar Wright and Will Smith's former assistant Bilal, that is not what went down behind the scenes. They claim that instead of being protected and mentored, Bryshere was allegedly pulled into some disturbing industry situations that left him traumatized. And according to them, Will and Diddy allegedly used that so-called mentorship as a way to get access to him. Then, once they were done, they tossed him aside like he never mattered. And remember what I said about Orlando Brown also allegedly being a victim? Well, he recently went on an Instagram rant accusing Will of allegedly essaying him.
Wake the fuck up, what are you talking about, nigga? You me as a kid, you ass you me as a kid, and you all my nigga, and you still trying to get away with nigga. What do you mean? I'm sitting right here. Every time I see you, I want to slice your neck.
Long story short, when I'm in Chicago, this guy's acting erratic. Like, I mean, crazy. He's getting stopped by the cops. There's male prostitutes involved. There's mental illness involved. There's drug use involved. And I'm really trying to see what happened to this guy. And one day he said, you know what happened. You know that Will R-worded me, or however y'all kind of say it on YouTube. You know that Diddy assaulted me, and you know Charlie Mack made me suck his private part, right? And I'm like, whoa, this was a full admittance. And he's going, and I'm like, I didn't know anything. He's in the corner, balled up, snot, so much sweating and pain that blood is coming from his nose, right? And this is me and him in a conversation. And he was like, please don't tell him. Please don't tell him, right? Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual, right? So I'm like, okay, so now it's starting to make sense, because nothing, I would have never believed that the way this guy's acting, something had to happen. So now, Will told me, and this is going to be in paperwork and everything, right? So when Will told me that he did have sexual intercourse with Bryshere, he said Bryshere did ask him to stop. Will said he completed the act, then stopped. Right then and there, when a person say stop, that means stop. Period. So I do believe that Will Smith assaulted Bryshere Gray. Charlie Mack and Will gets a lawyer for Bryshere, and they try to get me under NDA. I tell Will, I'm not signing, I don't even have an NDA with you. How am I getting an NDA with him? You understand what I'm saying? So I hire a lawyer, right? Mm-hmm. When I hire the lawyer, he comes back and say, listen, this is the best I can do. He said, I'm going to have y'all do a mutual NDA, meaning that Bryshere can't tell people that you know that Will and Diddy actually assaulted him. And I want to say the R word, but I know we're on YouTube. Then you can't say nothing about him. So I said, okay, well, as long as he stopped telling people that I know what Will and Diddy did to him. You understand what I'm saying? Period. That was the problem. So there's legal paperwork, and it's all going to be, and you got to follow this case. All that's coming out in court.
You hold them down, because he was like, Charlie Mack is not going to be able to be there, because him and Charlie had something else going on. I rob in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy.
One person reacted to this saying, Jag has bigger balls than all the men who have ruled the world unchecked. All the parents who sold their child's soul for fame will reap what they have sown. Another person said, I would love for these truth tellers to speak up when wrong is being done, not after the trauma towards others occurred. Money leads a lot of these stories coming out, not the trauma caused by the incidents that occurred. No one cared enough to stop the abuse or essay towards assistance. You too will be held accountable by God. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Bryshere and all these other victims going through all this? And do you really think this is going to lead to an investigation of what really goes on in Hollywood? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.